Sorry about your mind, but I just don't want to think about. Well, I mean, we're running behind anyway tonight a little bit. Now this thing drops fast, but I'm going to unplug it and come to this room for a moment, which is a little harder to get it plugged in. I don't know if this can be on when this is on. I have, sorry about starting off in darkness. Actually, that's not very bright even like this, but it's not bad, I suppose. But you use tripods, random things for tripods. I know that they sell little devices, and we even have a couple of them, but one of them I don't know where it's at, and the other one I might also not know where it's at. I don't know what I think of this lighting. That's a bit better, I guess. Yeah. Other times when I come in this particular room, which is rare in our house, this particular room, the lamp is a bit brighter. There's a reason that it's not, and it's kind of funny actually. And maybe you'll be lucky, and I'll share why. Also, I don't know why it's so chilly here because it's really warm up here. Plus, the heat's pretty cranked down. We're running a little bit behind on things tonight, so G's kind of just getting to his routine thing that's quite important to him, and I am just somewhat trying to stay awake. I'm not super tired, but somewhat trying to stay awake. And I'll be right back. I'll use this one too. Yeah, I had the idea for this. I mean, truth be told, what I'm about to say is kind of similar to some of the stuff I've said in some other videos, but I had the idea to do this a few days ago and be very kind of to the point, maybe somewhat brief, and I just I haven't quite done it exactly like I've planned to yet, so I'm going to do that here. We had somebody there for a couple of minutes out of curiosity. Yeah, I usually sit in that chair too, so just a totally different feel. But actually, I think this works better. I think this works better. It's chilly up here, so but I am using the device. I could have asked to borrow the one other device that G's not using as much. I didn't really want to interrupt him, and I can use this one. Hopefully, it seems like you can hear me because you've been here for a couple minutes, and I appreciate it, and I welcome you to the video. I'm wondering if you'd like to say if you've ever been to the channel before and how you came across it. Conversations never forced, but invited. With this particular device, one of the things it sometimes does is backtracks the time a little bit. I don't know why, and that's annoying, and then it makes it not completely accurate as is. So I am going to try and keep this brief, and I don't know if when you click into this, what's really speaking to you is the title, the ambiance, my look, possibly all of the above. But if it's the title, especially, I'm just going to grab my water, and then we'll jump into it. This is really nice ambiance. So I think that you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear the music in the other room, because there's something on that door preventing it from closing completely. Kind of draped over it. So sometimes I'm very winging it, free-spirited, and often no filter, if you've never been to the channel before. And, I feel a little bit bad that maybe I'm taking a bit of not much time, because it's under 5 minutes still. And yes, I did. I forgot that. I'm going to bring this with me for a moment. There was something else I meant to get in that room, and I forgot. The lighting would be different for a moment, but I'm going to be going back where I was in a moment. So yeah, often I'm not scripted when I do my videos. And I like that, and it's organic. One nice thing about it is then it allows for, the conversation with the viewers to flow, and I'm not, I might still somewhat feel like I'm slightly interrupted if I'm kind of in the middle of a thought, but I won't feel like I have a whole bunch of script to get to. You know, I want to acknowledge, you know, yeah, and basically, I won't lose my placing, and you know, to acknowledge, and you know, part of me's hesitant to be saying this now, even though people can see this afterwards, because okay, perfect. Yeah, I do like to take the time to acknowledge the comments as well. You know, when a video has them in a live, you know, while it's live. But I want to jump right into this, and the person looked right up like, well, this was not for me anyway. Who knows? Or either that, or it's inaccurate, or you just came back. Maybe there was a bit of a hiccup there. So I have a bit of an idea with this one specifically what I'd like to say. Also, just a quick heads up, we're going to be doing an online party. During the day, I'll probably do one, and then possibly in the evening when G's home. Thursday probably, and Friday. I mean, it's always kind of a bit of a party, but more of a party. And you know that by the title of the video. But I do want to, like I say, because of that one wonky thing this device sometimes does, and yeah, I do want to jump right into this here. I feel like you're meant to be here, and I'm glad you are. And, you know, hopefully you'll decide to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, that is. So I've thought up a little bit like what I want to say, but there's one part I'm a little unsure about. In the title I mentioned how, you know, you're fabulous and you're rocking it and all that stuff, right? And some of you are going to be like, really? I really didn't feel like, you know, you might not really feel like you are. You might be feeling really critical of yourself. You might be struggling. You might, you know, be hearing, you know, other people in one format or another who have told you otherwise and believing it. And, you know, it's maybe they have a good intent and they're trying to help, and maybe there is room for growth there. But other times, you know, they won't be accurate. They won't be right. And so it's, I guess, kind of recognizing the difference, you know. And it was just a little bit, just like less than half an hour before I started rolling this, that, by the way, I'm very curious to know if the comment section is working, because so far I don't see anything there. This device I don't use super often, but I hope it is. It's also dropping very fast, so I might have to go into the other room and just have a brighter light on for a moment, but in fact, I might do that. Because this old device. But let me see if I can get this out in 5 or 10 minutes. Oh, hello, Melissa Ferris. How are you? Welcome. First time to the channel? And chat's working, obviously. I know of a couple of Ferrises, actually, aside from Wheels, which was a great place in Chatham, Ontario. What I'm thinking of doing is, because now there might be a bit of a chat as well, which is fine. I think I'm going to go into the other room. Yes, I'll be on the bed, but whatever. Yeah, one of them is a musician. I want to say her name is Katie. And there's one or two Ferrises that I went to high school with, but I was never super close with them. They may have been a few grades younger than me, in Ontario, Canada, if any possible connection there. But I'm not close with really any of them, so, but familiar, or know of. So I'm going to come back in here, you know, just after oh, that's really cool. I kind of want to show you a couple things before I do, though. And hopefully the lighting's not bad. I'm going to try and, I usually know how to do it. I think it's just, yeah, there was something covering it from Messenger. So I just want to show you a couple funny things. When I got up, look at how that pillow landed. And then this is just a funny little thing we've done with the lamp. There's actually a little hat on it too. Anyway, sometimes I'm quirky, what can I say? Okay, I'm going to put on a better light in here because I feel like it's not super bright. Unless you like it. But I don't like the kind of, the hue. What's your favorite hue? Jackman. Just kidding. So, Melissa, are you still there? Somebody is here. That's the main thing. Oh, that was the other thing. Is I was about actually going to stand and put this over there and stand. I'm going to plug in my device. Okay. Hopefully that won't be too noisy. You might briefly lose me, and I'll be right back. You might not either. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. So. And now it doesn't look like anybody's here ever. And it was just a few seconds there that happened. But maybe that's inaccurate. Anyway, it might be a good opportunity to quickly say the one part. And I don't want to come across wrong when I say it. I really don't. But I thought to say it when I thought of this idea a few days ago. I think I thought to say it as well in a similar way, so I think I will. Because I mean, the truth of the matter is I don't know, unless I'm familiar with you on here already, I don't know our viewers already, right? And so, again, I don't want to come across the wrong way. I don't want to come across as rude or mean to anybody, but there's a part of me that wants to say, and it looks like you both left. Is like, but there's a part of you that does, and I'm not cool about that. So, sayonara. No, just kidding. No, I'm just gonna say it and get it said. Basically, to the effect of, and again, not trying to sound mean or anything to anybody, but I feel like there are some people who might hear you're fabulous and you're rocking it and things like that and think, well, duh, I know that, obviously, of course I'm, and other things like that. And it's okay to have a confidence, a healthy self-esteem / ego. Nothing wrong with that. But it's if you can't stop telling yourself, you're just the greatest thing, the greatest person out there, whatever it is, that's when you maybe want to look at it and kind of, simmer it down a little bit and say, but is there things that I could grow and get better at? Is this maybe an unhealthy level of confidence? I hope I never come across that way myself, because I am a fairly confident person, and that I'm confident about. But this video is more so, I would say, and again, it's whoever it reaches and is meant to reach, and I hope that what I just said came across well. Just a moment. And I don't know, I guess the other person, I don't even think she liked it, but maybe she meant to. And her phone died, or something came up, or it just didn't stick. But I don't believe we've still got Melissa here. People got their lives and their devices and technology, or just simply had to plug them in like I did. But she at least let me know that the chat was working, so that's good. And we got 3 of you here, and the numbers are dancing and that. And but I'm glad to have you all here. This video is especially for those who are maybe. I mean, anybody can weigh in, certainly, but it's especially for those who are maybe struggling to feel that confidence, to feel that they're great, that they're there's so many different ways you could say it, right? And I don't want to say the word special and have that misconstrued, misinterpreted, or whatever. Special can be a good thing, and that's how I'm referring to it. You're special. I know I don't. And it's always with this device. On the laptop, it's not so much, but my eyes. Maybe it's also because I'm tired and it's late. But let me actually. I want to be leaning back here. But yeah, you are special in a lot of ways, I'm sure, and in good ways, all good ways, That's how I see the word special. Um, how do you see the word special when it refers to a person or a curiosity? Because I remember I had I guess it was kind of like a poem I used to have. I don't remember how old I was. I don't know if I was in high school or what, and I don't even remember if it rhymed actually. But it was really nicely written. I don't remember who it was by or anything like that, so don't ask. But no, essentially, and I wondered when I was thinking of doing this video and delivering it, how deep and how emotional it was going to feel. I mean, I truly do mean it. I truly do mean that you are. However, not knowing of yours, unless I am familiar with them, it's hard to I wonder where the lid to this one. I don't know. Hard to be specific. Um, Other than say that I'm sure there's both internal and external beauty. That you have valuable and worthwhile ways of thinking and expressing, that you can be a great person in other people's lives, and and on their live streams, lives and lives. Um, what else? I mean, I don't want this to be all about me, and I do and don't think I'd struggle to think of reasons why I'm special, but this is about, just taking a moment. I know earlier today I did quite the podcast, and it was very lovely. And one of the things that if he sees this, I'll try to remember next time I see him. And part of me wants to just wait till then, but the idea of being deserving of giving and receiving love, and most of us are. Most of us are, and so that's I want to say that in some ways when I say this whole special thing, it's kind of like, in some ways I also feel like it's nothing unique necessarily. It is. It's something that as a person is a common thing amongst humanity, that I want all to feel. Um, I'm curious from those that are watching. Again, how do you define special when you're thinking about yourself, other people in general? Um, do you think you're special in good ways, and how so? That was weird. I very briefly reached behind the cell phone that I'm doing this on, uh, to shouldn't be holding that on my pinky, to get something, and it kind of flickered for a moment, but then when I did it the second time, it didn't. I guess my eyes are a bit tired. A little past 10 at night, which may or may not be late to some people, but it's getting closer to bedtime. But yeah, so I'll repeat. What um, what do you think of when you hear of somebody say that you're special in good ways? And what do you think that means for other people, if there's a difference? I mean, you're your own person. They are them. Um, Maybe I didn't think this through a ton. I just thought of the basic idea that I wanted to. And like I say, it is late, and this phone can sometimes be a bit wonky. But that's really what it is about, folks. And again, feel free to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. This channel is about uplifting each other, wellness, psychology. I perform music here sometimes. We're going to have a real party in a couple days, possibly a couple. It's always a bit of a party in some ways. But and I will read the comments. I cater to the viewers. As far as as long as they're speaking in kindness and mostly on topic. I mean, I'm ADHD. My mind goes fast. I also go by what the people are commenting. So, but again, more so the first two. I may go off topic sometimes, but you can help keep me on topic. But no, I'm also all about asking thought-provoking questions, and reflecting. Like making people stop and think for a moment, and answer questions that they may never have really spent a lot of time thinking about. 5-2, but that means that this is resonating with two of you, and it also might mean that the count's being a little bit inaccurate. Again, I hope you will decide to like. There's always something to like, I feel. I don't know. I think it's just the size of the screen. When I do this on the laptop, personally, I feel like doing this on the cell phone right now, I feel like I look mildly cross-eyed. And I don't know if it's just that I'm tired or if it's this device, because I don't notice that on the bigger screen. Just saying. So if you're thinking that, just watch me on a bigger screen. But yeah, maybe I should have thought, maybe I'll probably talk more about this maybe tomorrow, or I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow's topic is going to be, or songs. If you have any song requests, feel free to ask them. Back up to 5. Don't know if it's the same 5, but either way, glad to have you here. Curious if you've been to the channel before or how you came across it. I mean, were you searching something kind of connected to the title and that's how you came across it, or just YouTube suggested it, or what? I'm just curious. It's never my intent to ramble so fast that it's hard to keep up, or it's hard to also work on a comment, but it happens sometimes. I'm going to sit for a moment quietly, because I can do that, and think about what I think we got 6 of you here. Let's just slow down for a bit here. So, again, this is something I feel like I'm quite good at if I know the person. So maybe that's the approach to take with this. Don't be shy. I'm a good person. I'm easy to talk with. I think you can kind of tell that. So tell me something about yourself. Maybe even better yet, tell me something that you don't like or struggle to like and appreciate about yourself. I feel like we could all answer this. I mean, some of us it may be a bit harder to do, and then what I might try and do is help you see the positives. Help you see why that makes you special and unique. I mean, so many of us just want to fit into the mainstream, and that's okay. But I think it's also fine to be unique. Just going to pause, allow for anybody who wants to comment to comment. I think Melissa's phone may have died, or I almost said passed away, or something came up for her. I'm going to guess because of the retention, though, that the audio is recording fine, and the numbers are really fluctuating, but that's cool. You'd think that would be common on YouTube, but there's a lot on here. The algorithm, sometimes there's quiet spurts, or it's 1 or 2 for a while, or, but I do feel you're meant to be here. Hopefully you've heard the questions I've asked, and we'll have something to say about them. I'll try and think of a couple more general statements to say too, but I'm not really sure what those would be at the moment. Also, I invite you to check out other videos on this channel, especially the live tab. There's 2 of us that use this channel, and one of them, I am in the live. I do the live streams. The other ones are older content mostly. So, yeah, hopefully you'll find things that appeal to you there. I'm just going to put this down for a moment. Yeah. We got three of you here, and I mean, I don't know if from your side you're working on a comment based on what I've said, or you're saying, or you're thinking to yourself, just keep talking. I want to hear what you have to say. But all three of you, so at least it looks like it. But then it says three right away again, so I don't know. Actually, it says four. Actually, five. Just kidding. But whoops. Um, so let me, because like I say, I just had the intro thought of. Let me just take a moment, and you're welcome to say hi, whereabouts in the world you're watching from, and if you've already been here listening to a bit, your thoughts on what you've heard so far. I'm just gonna kind of think. Um, what I might want to still bring into this about the topic. It's okay for all of us to slow down. I mean, some people may find it awkward, but I think that it's okay to take those breathers, to slow down and think and answer the deep questions sometimes. That sometimes a lot of us are just going about life so quickly that we don't think to, or maybe we need to, right? Another way I could form the question is, why don't you feel special if you don't? Or why do you feel special if you do? I will read your comments. I promise. I noticed that live chat was displaying after of the previous one, and that's where most of them come in. Um, but I'm doing this on the cell phone, so I didn't have the option to even select that. And sometimes it doesn't when I do select it. But I also understand that a lot of people can multitask, and some people, just want to listen. They don't want to. But one thing I would say is I would challenge the people that are a little bit shyer, or just, maybe they're just simply really critical of, you know, expressing themselves. But you know what? In day to day life, especially, for most people, often, you know, we often don't really get much chance to stop and think about how we want to express things. I mean, sometimes we do, but oftentimes it's kind of in the moment. And I think that we shouldn't be too harsh or critical on ourselves to on how we might come across, how we might be perceived, because like for me, I'll either understand right away or I won't, and that'll be obvious, and you can clarify, or I'll ask you to clarify if I'm confused. And we'll get on the same wavelength if we aren't already, kind of thing. Just gotta think of on the spot how I might want to wrap this up, but I can go for another 15-25 minutes if somebody does want to chat. Um, I mean, the title says it. The title gets the point across. It's just, is there a deep, aside from what I've already said, is there a deeper way to do it? Is there a more personalized way to do it? I don't know, because I don't know you. I kind of have to hear your thoughts a little bit. This is a safe space, by the way. Judgment free, sure. May have strong opinions sometimes. We Everybody forms opinions about almost everything. It's how people process things. It's how people come to understandings of things. It's just way the brain works. Um, I appreciate if you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell as well. But yeah, and I could say, although the person that was just there isn't there anymore, I could say that you have. And again, this is something I do realize too. When you're hearing it from someone that doesn't know you, I realize that it may sound a little bit awkward, like, how can you say that? You don't know me, kind of thing. Um, and I understand that. That does make sense. But there are just some things, I guess, that I feel personally are just very human, very kind of across the board. There may be exceptions, sure. One of those things is that, like, I feel almost everybody has worth. And that includes what you say and what you feel. And it matters. Um, I think a lot of people don't need to hear this, but some maybe do. You weren't put on this earth to, I don't want to say blend in, but be in the background, be on the sidelines. That's something else I mostly feel. Again, there are exceptions perhaps, but um, it's hard for me to think that some people are, like, does anybody relate to not really feeling like you're at where you want to be in life? Like you're not yeah, I mean, I might touch on that a little bit more tomorrow or the next day, but I mean, that can make, you know, going into the future, um, desires to, quite honestly, live challenging. When you don't feel like you're there and you don't know if you're going to get there. I empathize with anybody who feels that. And that's really real. Oh, but either came back, somebody else is here. Like, oh, I'm there. I feel like I'm going to get there because I am there. um, but I know that there are so many people that aren't. This is the thing. This is the thing I do want to say, and I'll wait until somebody else tunes in because it doesn't look like there's anybody here at the moment. But the numbers have been. Sometimes it seems like it's more on this cell phone that I notice that, but. I understand that this may come across a certain way, but let me know how it comes across. Um, Unless, I mean, you can do that by a like if you agree, by saying something. Um, but it's something that I should mention every now and then, whether spoken out or written. Which reminds me, there's something else I wanted to check. But let me know how this comes across. Like I say, whether with a like or a comment, and hopefully it comes across as I am hoping that it does. Basically, I just need to prop myself up a little bit better here. Basically, to the effect of that, it's true. And it's true with anybody's channel, really, including mine. And even yours if you post content. And I'm always curious about that. It seems like a lot of my followers don't. They're just on YouTube to follow other people, which is cool. I mean, we all need an audience, you know, and where'd that location thing just flash? We all need an audience and you know, people to chat and like our content, and some people just happen to do that and post content. But the truth of the matter is that I'm speaking as myself because I'm me. But nobody's content is going to, I could even say, be everything that everybody needs, or that even one person needs. But it's also, what I mean to say is that, like, you may not relate to everything. Certain things may feel like they're less for you, but you probably have someone in your life who it might be helpful for. I mean, when you're not just, talking about like performing music, but even that, certain songs might make you think of certain people. But also, like I say, this is a very diverse channel for the most part. Lots of different stuff. Um, some more reoccurring than other stuff. So I do feel like there's something for almost everybody, and something worth liking in hopefully almost every video. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, kind of thing. But no, I mean, the purpose of this video and the or at least it looks like you have. I mean, I don't know how that. I thought that was kind of. I can't put it into words, but not bad. But either you're back, somebody else is here. But basically, yeah, the purpose of this video is just to remind you, whether you feel it or not, and we can talk about it. We can talk about this too. We can talk about any of it, but I'd be very curious to know whether you feel like you matter in the world, whether you feel special in a good way, whether you're where you want to be in your life. And if the answer is no to any of those, I don't want to say that's okay and be misinterpreted as no big deal, it's fine, whatever. But more so as other people relate to it. You have to um, you have to accept it a little bit because it's where you're at. You have to accept where you're at in your life. And I don't just mean physically, but I mean like I think you know what I mean, really. I hope you do. Like status wise, um, with your goals. And it can be a hard thing for some of us when we don't feel that to accept that that's the case. I relate to that too. But that does not mean, and I wish that all those numbers were correlating a bit better with things, but it's just how it is on YouTube sometimes. But anyway, it does not mean that you don't matter, that you're not important. Truth be told, it's getting to be where I can't roll for too much longer anyway. Got to do some things before wrapping up the night. So I guess I wouldn't necessarily want a bunch of chat to occur. I don't know if G's planning to podcast. And I think if we're on two different devices, it might be able to, but I'm not sure. But like back to back, I don't know. I hope not. Got a bit of a late start. I don't think I'm hearing the music in the other room. But the evenings went kind of fast. But I'll keep this one shorter. I mean, even an hour, 2 hours would be shorter than the great podcast we did earlier today. I did earlier today, but I could say we because the viewers and the commenters helped make it great. Helped make it great. I mean, I know that I played a large part, and I kept the momentum going, and I was the one hosting it. But yeah, so feel free to check that out, even if it's just a little bit. I did try the air summary thing, which I've been wanting to post some music too, but I did try the summary thing, and it actually kind of categorized it and kind of sort of chaptered it. So hopefully it's the little ask symbol, I think, or it looks like a little, black star, but a little symbol thing. But it started out kind of just talking about love and And then when, yeah, it was quite random. There was a lot of stuff in it. Not as much music, and for being 4 hours, I would have thought that there would have been some music in it. Most videos, even most videos that are 2 or 3 hours that I do, would incorporate some music, but I I found a book I was looking for, a music book I was looking for, thankfully, but I was more distracted by the chat and by what I wanted to do next in the day. So I didn't do as much music, but definitely in the next, probably Thursday, Friday, maybe tomorrow too, I am going to, you know, bring the music in, and it's going to be a good time. Um, thankfully, it's a time of year that we're getting into that kind of has its own music. So, and I mean, that's only for a couple months, and then even if it's still winter, which in a lot of places, including here, it is, and when I get there, Sotronaz, but near Edmonton, um, then but the Christmas season, I mean, 2 months can go it can go slow, but it can also go very quick. And a lot of it's really nice music, so I'll probably look at that a little bit tomorrow. And if you have a particular topic you'd like me to touch on tomorrow, feel free to say in the chat or the comments of this one or somewhere on the channel. Um, Maybe you'll check out something on the channel, and that video may or may not elaborate on a particular mention as much as you might like it to. But you can let me know, and I can see if there's more I can do on that. So, anyway, this I'm satisfied with how I did with this video. The numbers have been a little bit inaccurate and confusing. But I mean, like I said, I'm trying to put out here with this one especially, but really with all of my videos, you know, even if it's not super obvious that, you know, that everybody matters, everybody's important. Um, I mean, I think any of us would say there might be exceptions, but I would say very, very few exceptions. You know, everybody, everybody is worthwhile, is meant to be, has a voice worth being heard, including you. And, you know, I hope that you do feel love and kindness in your heart, and that it is just as expansive as I'm saying it is. But if you don't, I hope that you can look a little deeper and find it. The podcast I did earlier today, the start of it was actually a really great example about that. About how when it's hard to love sometimes, um, but we figure out how to do it anyway. Because it's worth it. Because it feels good for us and to the people that we're giving that to. Um, and yeah, it just makes for a more enjoyable and pleasurable existence. Again, I am tired, it's late, and I think it's this device because I feel like my eyes look different on the laptop, the bigger screen. I once had someone donate to me because they thought I had angelic eyes. So if you're not seeing that now, know you might in the future. So don't forget the perfect segue to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, the like button. And yeah, we have a bit of a channel description on here, but it's really so diverse that it almost makes more sense to just find live streams, dive into them, watch as much as you're able, comment. If there's not a lot of comments on some of the videos, because that is true, I was going to say it, but then the person left. Um, it's because in a lot of them, it feels weird to say it when there's nobody here. But then again, it also feels a little bit weird to say it when this one's been kind of quiet. But a lot of the times, today was a great example. A lot of days are. Some are quieter, but where a lot of the comments came in during. And it doesn't always show that feature afterwards to look back at them. But you can hear that I'm talking to the commenters. Um, it's always nice to get the comments after the fact, too, though. So feel free to check that out. Um, don't think I hear the music in the other room yet, so at the moment. So the more podcasts I do in here, it's actually not that people don't do it, but it's actually probably a not great idea to do podcasts. Just a moment here. Does anybody speak that language? I don't see a translate option on this device. Therefore, I don't know if that's spam or not. It looks like it says a few things. I don't know what to think of that. I don't speak that language, and I don't live with somebody who does. Sanjay, if you also speak English, could you type that in English, please? Or if somebody could translate that. Or, like, on the device that I'm doing this on and that I have handy, I can't copy it over into a translate section. And Sanjay himself might not understand that I'm saying this. By the way, I like the latter part of your name. Looks kind of cool. But can the other person that's watching please copy that into Google Translate or just translate it for me? I'd appreciate it. I want to know if this is a bot or a troll or if it's a genuine comment, because it looks like it could be. It says he would like you to send him money so he can fly to America. Hi, Jeremy. How are you? Knight in shining armor, I see. Okay. And you weren't just saying that. You weren't just saying that because. Oh wow! It's already telling you you're a top fan. Because, and then it put it underneath your comment saying what he said. Because it seemed like a foreign person, and some people think that a lot of them. Okay, now all I could do was hide from the chat, but that's okay. Are scamming. I mean, today I had a person from Pakistan, a person from India. I don't know where you're from. You don't look like you have a foreign name, though, or at least a name of those cultures. But and we had a lovely time chatting, and they weren't doing that. But I don't think it depends if you're saying the United States or. Oh, you're from the States. Are you happy about that? I mean, you're proud to. I mean, I don't want to talk hugely about politics. I got to wrap up soon. But since you're saying something, I'm curious if you've been watching for very long or just tuned in, and if you've been to the channel before or if you've seen the channel before. Glad to have you here, by the way. Yeah, I don't want to get hugely in politics, but I personally do feel bad for everybody that's living under the dictatorship of you know who. It is late here. I really was probably moments away from wrapping up, but I do have a couple other first time listener. Okay, cool. Well, again, I welcome you here. I welcome you to hit the like button, to, all the things that they all say. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. Earlier in this video, if I had to guess, I would say it was probably around the 30-minute mark. I kind of said a little bit about what this channel's about, and it's quite diverse, but it's not everything, but it's most things. But I think I did say a little bit about it around that area. Also in the description of the channel, but it's also really about what the viewers want it to be, for the most part. I mean, within reason. I'm musical, so I share that sometimes. We're going to be having a party on here in a couple of days. But as I keep saying, it's almost always a little bit of a party, to be quite honest. So what state are you in / from? And if you'd like to say kind of your age age range, and I mean, sure. So how did you come across this channel? By the way, was it something you were searching? Was it just suggested? I'm tired. It's late, but Idaho, the home of potatoes. You're not connected. No, but they're in Tennessee. Who was it that I was watching? Oh, okay. So you're not followers of Julie and Jerry then, the musicians. Just scrolling. Well, it's always cool when you find random things that way, eh? Yeah, I probably look tired. I keep thinking that, I'm used to seeing myself on the big screen. So it is 10 after 11 here, and probably late morning tomorrow. Sir's a bit. I was confused formal and informal, but you don't have to call me sir. It's all good. I go with it, but I like but it's all good. I mean, yeah, for the most part. Just don't call me late for dinner. We were a bit late, or at least it felt like we were a bit later for dinner tonight. And then we were just heating stuff up. It's just the evening got away from us. Yeah. So I'm going to be wrapping up soon, but I'm glad that this got some comments just before wrapping up, putting a bow on it. Again, I hope you will like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Why do you ask? And also, are you available to watch tomorrow? And what type of topics? I mean, I don't want this to keep me up, but I'll tell myself, wait and think about it tomorrow. I've got time, for the most part. What sort of topics would you like me to talk about, and what sort of songs might you like to hear? I don't know if G, the other person on this channel, is planning to roll live or not. I mean, we're a bit later than usual, but only a bit. And so I don't, want to have 2 live streams rolling on this channel on 2 different devices, if that's even possible. I'm in a not super actively, but openly open marriage, I guess you could say. Poly. What about you? Oh, I don't want to say that. I don't want it to come across wrong. But this is a very accepting and diverse, as long as people are being kind and respectful. Then, yeah, I love to laugh loud and long and clear. And the more I laugh, it's getting every year. There, I got a bit of music in this one. An old movie tune. Do you recognize it? Here's another clue. Oh, what a feeling, dancing on the ceiling. Okay, cool. That may or may not answer the question I was going to ask based on your question, which is semi-joking and would have been being serious. It's interesting that you specified to a woman. Was there a particular... Don't say because you are. Was there any other reason that you specified that, out of curiosity? Man, I don't want to wrap up now. Yeah, hopefully you'll be available to watch tomorrow too. And like I say, probably it's about 11:15 at night here. Probably somewhere between 9:30 and 10 in the morning, maybe, because I'm up by like 7ish. if that would work for you, or and you don't have to. It doesn't have to be while I'm live, but that's always nice. I just got to put this down for a moment. Yes, I want to remember to bring that. You just got down there, Ed? Yeah. Okie dokie. We wasn't playing for very long then. Okie dokie. Sounds like a plan to me. Get that down. Just a moment. There was a couple of funny things in that room, speaking of laughing, but I turned off the light in that room. Can't be on tomorrow. Gotta specify these days. Not that it's a bad thing though, right? You're gonna hear G in the background on the piano. By the way, I don't think you've hit like yet. No, it doesn't look like you have. Doesn't look like you have. Not trying to force it, but you seem to be enjoying yourself, so. And, some people will go, now, are you still there? Some people will go by the statistics, right? Even if they shouldn't, they should decide for themselves. Some people will say, okay, this was an hour and a long video, and how many likes does it have? And you might be a little bit surprised to see that there's none, especially since you're enjoying yourself. You hear some cool versions of... Do you hear the piano downstairs as I'm speaking? I guess that means I should keep speaking so that we know for sure. Because I might still have stuff to say. I'm glad that the device has behaved, hasn't conked or anything. At all. Well, you got a very busy day coming up, I guess, eh? Hope it goes well for you. Then I saw the lady we all know. Oh, Barb. Who you calling Barb? Are you still there, Jeremy? It doesn't quite look like it, but... Well, if you like humor, if there was something that I said that landed wrong, you could just see it as me joking, couldn't you? Unless you're like, yeah, but I don't think you were. And maybe I wasn't. Maybe I was. It's a little strange. Because I think you were still there when I came back to the room, and I was only briefly away. I don't think I said anything that iffy. In my humble opinion. But, okay, well, this got a bit of comments at least, so maybe because did I ask more than once since he was here? Again, that's a pretty small thing, but... Or, I don't know, maybe they're religious. Maybe he's religious and really got a vibe and... Or thought I was coming across flirty, who knows? And so what? No. I think there may have been a misunderstanding here, but there is something else I do want to say, though. That it's kind of nice and comfortable to do the podcast from this room, which is actually, and lots of people do, the bedroom. The only thing is that, I mean, sure, sometimes it takes a bit of time to fall asleep, but I might associate it more with, I might associate the podcast with the room. And I'll never forget one time we had to have EMS come here, and he pulled the thingy on that light, and it pulled it off. And so anytime that light is on, and it's kind of dark in here otherwise, especially during the nighttime, um, I do think of that. And he's playing Song About Heaven. Anyway, so I should probably go distract myself. But if you have any things you can suggest to kind of like get around those specific thoughts, this isn't. I'm happy to be here and support y'all. Every now and then I need it too. Anyway, I don't know. He does some really neat piano things with this song. I'm not sure if I think his vocals are working though, and it might be more distracting than anything. And it is late, so I'm gonna wrap up. I don't know. Maybe it was the fact that I was asking about if they could watch tomorrow when I'm sitting here doing this one. It's like I'm here today. You want me today, or you don't want me at all? Oh, I want it. Just kidding. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up because he's getting wild down there, and it's not the party yet. But yeah, I'm all about laughter, and for the most part, I mean, sometimes we need to be serious about certain topics, but I'm all about having a good time. And in fact, I don't imagine he's going to see this, but I want to try and remember to tell RJ. It's like his dad calls and says, "You've got to be up early in the morning. Are you awake?" And I'm not being to be mean by the accent, but are you on YouTube? Get off of YouTube. Okay, yeah, I will. Click. Anyway, where were we? Then the grandfather calls. Just, I had a feeling that you might be on YouTube and you should be sleeping. Did your dad tell you should be sleeping? You should be sleeping. I will. Click. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Little joke idea that I had earlier based on conversation I had earlier in here. Like I say, I'm all about the comedy. I find that I'm better at it when it's spontaneous. To plan it, I mean, I sometimes come up with funny puns and this and that, but to plan it I'm not as good at, I don't think. Anyway, I need sleep, and that's no laughing matter. That's in all seriousness. We all need sleep. And, but I do know what I want to watch. And one of them was the one that I did today because G was at work while I did it. But now that I've heard myself talking for an hour, and I do happen to live with myself, believe it or not, and I'm in my body, in my person. Mostly I don't mind. Every now and then, I said it earlier today. I think that we'd both be lying, and like there'd be something wrong if we all didn't annoy ourselves a little bit, with just our quirks or things that we sometimes do but wish we didn't do, so but most of the time it's an absolute delight, I tell you that much. And that's being slightly silly and slightly a good self-esteem and confidence moment. I hope that you have those often or find ways to have them and help other people feel them too. Those confidence, self-esteem moments. It is late. I'm going to be wrapping up soon, putting a bow on it, but a couple people just tuned in, giving the impression like you might be interested in staying a little while, so I appreciate that. But it looks like you left. I don't appreciate that so much, but I can accept it that time because I did say I'm trying to wrap up, so they thought, well, then I'm not going to sit here and chat with you because, that won't be wrapping up. They may have thought that, and in that way, I actually feel like that's being respectful. But I may have still had a couple more things I may have wanted to say to welcome them to the channel. But, so, we'll go with that before it happens again and the person says, no, I really need to talk to someone. No, you can't go, you gotta leave. Then they'd be like, what do I do? I want to be there for the person, but we have a routine. I need sleep. We have to be up early. one of us especially, but it's kind of part of the routine that we both are. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap up and put a bow on it. I got the general idea of this video across and a couple other things. And again, I think the title of this book for itself anyway, but yeah, I'll watch the other thing. Okay, take care.